They say hindsight is 20/20. No one could have predicted the events that would unfold this year. But we at Agudah Yisrael knew one thing: no matter what laid in store, we would stand by our community as Klal Yisrael's vital team. It is a schus and a privilege to ask Reb Chaim David Zwiebel, the Executive Vice President, to walk us through our year in review.
We kicked off the year with the 13th Global Siyum Hashas. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered to celebrate incredible achievements in Torah, Ke'ish Echad, B'Lev Echad. Thousands of hours of learning over the course of this past year came as a direct result of the Siyum Hashas. As we were coming off the spiritual high from the Siyum, we had no idea what was in store for us coming around the bend, the pandemic. On March 4, we released our first COVID-related memo. After that, our communications with the Klal were almost daily. With shuls and yeshivas shutting down in droves, people didn't know where to turn. Within 2 days, Agudah Yisrael had Divrei Chizuk up online. Hundreds of thousands of people tuned in every day to learn, to grow, to stay connected through the dozens of programs offered by Agudah Yisrael. Our Torah Projects Division began a virtual Yarchei Kala, providing a constant stream of inspiring virtual learning programs for hundreds of people who attended during each day of lockdown. Our regional directors opened helplines in their various states for COVID-related questions, and thousands of people across the United States were able to safely navigate these unprecedented times with the guidance that they were given. Our Yeshiva Services Division worked day and night to ensure that our schools received the guidance and funding that they needed. We helped secure millions of dollars in funding, held webinars, and were available to guide our schools throughout the process of closing, remote learning, and reopening. And of course, all of our offices immediately began communicating with their local government officials to make sure that Yidden in each region were able to maintain safety and religious freedom throughout the crisis. As the pandemic wore on, members of our Agudah team got involved with yet another project, the COVID Plasma Initiative. With the guidance of top doctors, we joined up with a team of incredible individuals and formed a task force to make plasma donation possible. In a few weeks, we met with hospitals, provided volunteers, and spread the word of the initiative across the country. Soon, we had a national movement on our hands, and thousands of Jews came out to donate plasma and help their brothers who were sick and suffering. At this time, over 50% of the plasma donated in the United States has been given by Yidden from our communities. What a Kiddush Hashem. On April 7, we received the devastating news of the Patira of the Rosh Agudah Yisrael, the Novominsker Rebbe, Rav Yankov Perlov, Zeichet Tzadik V'Kodesh Livracha. Until his very last day with us, he took achrayus for the Klal, leaving us with a final letter of chizuk that was published just hours before his patira. Yehei Zichrei Baruch. As the COVID pandemic wore on, the issue of summer camps began to take center stage. Families wondered if their children would be allowed to gather together this summer. We fought valiantly, but ultimately the decision was made by the governor that New York State camps would not be opening. However, while preparing a case for reopening, we worked with a team of doctors to establish safety protocols, which were used as a template to keep our children safe in camps across the country. Ever since the founding of Agudah Yisrael, the Moetzes Gedolei HaTorah has been there to provide guidance and advice through more than a century of struggles and success. On September 6, the Moetzes Gedolei HaTorah added 6 new members to its ranks. This year also, Agudah Yisrael added new members of our board, to whom we wish much hatzlacha as we work together to meet the needs of the Klal. In October, we saw a little-known but very significant victory for Klal Yisrael. Members of a new community in Woodbury, New York, located on the outskirts of Monroe, were accused of operating illegal houses of worship. The community turned to the Agudah. Our legal department wrote to the prosecutors, and then one day before the first court case, the lawyer dropped the summons. The community was in the clear. This case is just one example of countless challenges of this kind that we have dealt with and overcome. On November 6th, we were heartbroken to hear of the Petira of Hagoyin Harav David Feinstein Zeichet Tzadik V'Kodesh Livracha. As a senior member of the Moetzes Gedolei HaTorah, Rab David was one of the leading Peiskei Hadar and led us through good times and bad. His loss left the entire community reeling. Later in November, we achieved one of the great legal victories in the history of Agudah Yisrael. For the first time ever, Agudah Yisrael's legal team brought a case directly to the United States Supreme Court. And with the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we were successful. We won. After our intervention, shuls in red and orange zones were no longer restricted any more than other secular establishments. And this case was not only a victory for New York City shuls, but it set a major precedent for religious freedoms for Klal Yisrael's future all across the United States. Every year, the Agudah Convention is an opportunity for learning and connection. This year, we were thrilled to be able to provide the same opportunities while allowing participants to stay safe in their homes. With 17 sessions in only 2 days, our agenda was jam-packed. There was truly something for everyone at Agudah's first virtual convention. Now, as we approach the end of the calendar year 2020, it's a moment for reflection. A time to think back at all that we have lost over the course of this year, but also all that we have gained. And to learn the lessons that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to learn from everything that has happened over the past year. We look forward with the leadership of our Gedolei Yisrael and the dedication of every member of Klal Yisrael who is fighting to preserve and grow during these difficult times, these challenging times. May we all be gesund moving forward. May we all create Kiddush Hashem in everything that we do. May we all bring pride to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, recognize the extraordinary challenges and extraordinary opportunities that we have, and proceed from there, lahagdil Torah ulahadira.